When I first enrolled at CU-Boulder, I had one goal in mind: to become an authority on human trafficking and to one day develop a solution to eradicate this crime completely. I had a variety of majors to choose from that could have helped me accomplish my goal: political science, international affairs, etc., but none of them focus on intersecting inequalities and marginalizations in the same way that Women's Gender Studies program does. It is in this program that I learned about intersectionality, top-down solutions that are really not solutions at all, and a myriad of other academic tools that have been invaluable towards meeting my dream. I also had the privilege to write an honors thesis in sociology, and I incorporated knowledge from almost every women and gender studies class I've ever taken. In this, I analyzed the social factors of racism, classism, sexism, and the constant need to create token victims as hindering the anti-trafficking agenda I once so loved. From my esteemed professors, I learned that all inequalities intersect and reinforce each other in some way, such as the gender roles we were all taught during our development in this world has racist and classist ideals inside of them. In writing my thesis, I found that there is an iconic trafficking victim that is created and policed by this gender role. The perfect victim must be a young girl from a nice middle-class family and white for a domestic victim. For the international victim, she must be from a country with extreme poverty or is considered oppressive to women because their culture holds on to traditional roles for women and girls to fill. These extreme dichotomies do not describe all human trafficking situations, and they also create a sort of blind spot for how marginalized communities, such as women, are treated and degraded here in the United States. We need to improve how we interact with each other and what any advocacy cause considers to be help, and how we construct who is a victim and how it reflects our own prejudice and ignorance. As it stands, the anti-trafficking agenda is top-down, meaning that a small but powerful set of individuals can dictate how trafficking in human beings can be eliminated and who is allowed to be a credible anti-trafficking advocate. This approach has terrible repercussions on trafficked victims who do not fit the desired victimization the elite minority has created. These victims are ignored, ridiculed, and are sometimes labeled as criminals. They are the agricultural laborers who are seen as complaining illegal immigrants, the domestic workers who are imprisoned inside posh mansions, and sex workers who are being exploited and abused on every societal level, from the ground of fellow human beings to higher positions such as corrupt law enforcement and politicians. Yet the anti-trafficking agenda as it currently stands remains ignorant of this, sometimes reveling in this ignorance. Problem was, I lacked the necessary knowledge to properly address the faults in this cause I so love. Around 2 years ago, I enrolled in a course called Gender Policy and Global Activism taught by Dr. Montoya, and it was in this course that I finally attained aforementioned necessary knowledge. In this class, I learned how activism and politics can communicate with each other, their respective weaknesses and strengths, and what true equality activism should look like. True activism should incorporate all perspectives from all disenfranchised communities and should look to build alliances with other progressive coalitions. Here was the argument I made in support of my thesis. The domestic efforts to eradicate human trafficking needs to include more grassroots activist coalitions, and instead of being seen as a purely criminal or legal issue. Grassroots activism is considerably more intersectional than governmental efforts, and the negative repercussions are usually better seen and understood by the on-the-ground and impersonal coalitions. They are better equipped to address the social inequalities that the anti-trafficking agenda only serves to reinforce. This conceptualization of my argument would not have been possible in any other majors most other anti-trafficking advocates enroll in. Declaring a major in women and gender studies has been one of the best decisions I have ever made. Not only was I given an exemplary education, I met and became close with a number of professors. I have been fortunate to form relationships with professors who have written letters of recommendations for me, championed me for scholarships, and have taken time out of their busy schedules to listen to my insecurities, difficulties, and who have somehow been kind enough to put their faith in me and my ambitions. These professors have become mentors, teaching me above and beyond what one learns in the classroom, and expanding on topics and complexities most other majors barely glance at. These classes in this department have expanded my previously singular academic interests. I have studied genocide, global social movements, and now understand how cruelty and inequality relates to trafficking. And of course, I could not have made it to this point without the support of my fellow women and gender studies majors and friends. We have fussed over tough midterms and finals, laughed at ridiculous comedy movies, and have educated one another in our respective specialties. I have learned as much from my classmates as I have from my professors. We have created this supportive and challenging environment that celebrates our differences and encourages us to reach beyond what we think we are capable of. This would not have happened in any other department or program, and for that I thank you, Women in Gender Studies. I thank you for existing here at CU. I thank you for attracting such wonderful professors, staff, and students. To my professors, I say each of you has my eternal gratitude and affection. And to my fellow graduates, current and future students, I thank you as well. We are all the future of women in gender studies, and we will make it bright and inspiring. So thank you.